Hello Magic fans, welcome to another unboxing video. So this time we're going to open the Innistrad Crimson Vow Commander decks. So this time it's Vampiric Bloodline. I got this from my local LGS, Neutral Grounds Centris. And I want to thank the staff for always taking care of me with my, Magic pre-orders. So same thing as for the recent Commander decks. You have this printed large copy of Stefan. Some people cut it out. And we have, these tokens that you can pop out and divider at the back. And then we have this deck box that will fit the deck. Single sleeve. We have your spin down, well, not spin down, this life counter for Commander, a short guide on Stefan, what kind of deck it is, and some strategies, including some rules for Commander. There you go. I like these things. They're good for storing cards, so if you haven't filled out your box with commons and commons, you can use this as a filler, so I do keep these. And then of course we have our thicker cardboard etch version of Stefan, and then we'll have our 2 packs of cards and tokens. So I guess we'll start with the deck with Stefan in it. So we do get our foil copy of Stefan, Maurer Progenitor. So it's a 2 black-red for a legendary Vampire Noble, 3/2, has flying. At the beginning of your end step, create a blood token for each player who lost life this turn. And whenever Stefan attacks, you may sacrifice 2 blood tokens. If you do, you may put a vampire card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. So we also have the new legendary Timothar, Baron of Bats. It's a 4 black for a legendary Vampire Noble 4/4. It has Ward, which requires the opponent to discard a card. And whenever another non-token vampire you control dies, you may pay 1 colorless and exile it. If you do, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. It gains when this creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it, and return the exiled card to the battlefield tapped. And then these are uncommon, so good inclusion and Blood Artist, of course. One of the more common removal spells, single target that you'll see in a lot of the Commander decks is Feed the Swarm, because probably the only or one of the few ways for black to remove enchantments. So it does have a lot of vampires. Of course, it's a vampire deck like Vampire Nighthawk, Rakish Air, and good removal with Vandal Blast for artifacts. It does have Rakdos Charm, which I think is a good inclusion for any Rakdos deck. Another Vampire Storm Captain. So artifact package, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, and Fire Diamond, then Commander Spear, your Rakdos Signet, your Soul Ring, and then some protection from your commander. So Swiftfoot Boots, Unstable Obelisk. So for your non-basics, of course, Command Tower, we have Mirrored Landscape, Path of Ancestry, which I kind of like. So it's good for your cards where you're playing tribal. So when you do, if you use the mana with Path of Ancestry, you get to scry 1. Carnarium, Tainted Peak, Temple of the False God, Unclaimed Territory, and then basic Swamps and Mountains. So let's take a look at our second pile. Crossway Troublemakers, Glassheart Casket, Camber the Plunderer, Olivia's Wrath. So this is one of our mass removal spells. So each non-vampire creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of vampires you control. So Also good for if you're trying to use it with Edgar Markov as a one-sided removal spell. Players are Shadowgrange, Archfiend, Arterial Alchemy, one of the newer cards, Imposing Grandeur, Loreen, the Diversion, which is one of the partner commanders that you can use for the deck. If you didn't want to use Strafan, so one is red and one is of course black. Loreen has, partner with Camber. It has first strike, and if you pay 2 and sacrifice an artifact or creature, you get to go target creature. So my Arsonist, Sign of Opulence, Sinister Wells. So we have Anuan the Ruined Sage, Bloodlord of Fasgoth, Blood Tracker, Butcher of Malkir, Champion of Dusk, Cordial Vampire, Damnable Pact, Dark Imposter, Malakal Blood Witch, Necropolis Regent, Nirkana Revenant, Patron of the Vein, Sanctum Seeker, Stormkirk Condemned, Underworld Connections, Anji's Ravager, Avacyn's Judgment. Blasphemous Act is, of course, one of the better removal spells, mass removal spells for red. Bloodsworn Steward, Crimson Honor Guard, Falcon Rat Gorger, Mob Rule, Molten Echo, Stormkirk Occultist, Vampiric Dragon. So some additional non-basics: Exotic Orchard, Foreboding Ruins, Shadow Blood Ridge, Smoldering Marsh, Temple of Malice, and our tokens. So we have blood tokens, double-sided as the bats for Timothar, of course some treasure tokens and vampire tokens. Yeah. Okay, so going back, I didn't read out Camber the Plunderer. So it's a 3 and a black for Camber, partner with Loreen, lifelink. So whenever a creature opponent you control dies, you gain 1 life and create a blood token. So you create a blood token with Camber and then you sacrifice it with Loreen, goad somebody else, and all that. So you can definitely upgrade this with some of the cards that will make creating artifacts matter, or add some of the cards with blood token synergies that are coming from the main Crimson Vow set. And I think those would be good ways to upgrade if you wanted to keep the vampire blood token synergies that are present in this deck. I can't wait to try this with at my local game store and see how it goes, and see if, so I mean recently the lands package and artifacts are included as a ramp for these commander decks have been pretty good. So if you needed to make a budget upgrade, you only need to probably take out some spells and add some other better spells, but you can basically play these decks out of the box with no problem. Anyway, so thanks again for watching. If you have anything you would like us to talk about in our next videos, please put a comment below. And thanks again for watching. Bye.